Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Not sure, are we, yes, we are. Let's set that Shabbat mood with a nigun, a song with no words.
Lie, 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 lie. Come on, guys. Lie, 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 lie. Beautiful. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. One last time. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie.
Let's turn to page 6 as we offer this communal prayer together. We enter this sanctuary to welcome Shabbat together. Within these walls, we sit surrounded by numberless generations. Our ancestors built the synagogue as a visible sign of God's presence in their midst. Throughout our long history and our endless wanderings, it has endured, a beacon of truth, love, and justice for all humanity. Its presence guided our ancestors to lives of righteousness, holding up to them a vision of their truest selves. Now we, in our turn, come into this sanctuary to affirm the sacredness of our lives. May we enter this place in peace. May holiness wrap around us as we cross its threshold. Weariness, doubt, the flaws within our human hearts, the harshness of the weak, let these drop away at the door. In the brightness of Shabbat, let peace settle upon as we lift our hearts in prayer. Can you imagine? Not too many, they say a prayer book per generation, but every 25 years, a new prayer book. These words already feel dated to me as many are joining us online and are part of our community, whether they're in a hospital room or they're home or they're in another state visiting with us through the power of the internet. And our community has this virtual walls. And so perhaps in the future this will be amended in such a way to recognize how sacred our space is, not just by being in the room, but perhaps being part of the virtual room as well. We're going to light our Shabbat candles on page 3, and we're going to have on the rabbi mic, we're going to have a special reader. Nomi, come on down. Nope, over here.
As the Shabbat candles give light to all who behold us, so may we be our lives give light to all who behold us. As the brightness reminds us of generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our own day become those who kindle light.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר קידשנו במצוותיו וציוונו להדליק נר של שבת.
If you want to join me. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat. Amen. Thank you, Nomi. The sheet's right here. Let's continue our Kabbalat Shabbat, the welcoming Shabbat, with question marks.
Page 13.
Page 13 is the secret. I didn't have the secret code. Page 13.
שירו לאדוני שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני ברכו שמו, בסרו מיום ליום ישועתו, ספרו בגויים כבודו, בכל העמים נפלאותיו, כי גדול אדוני מאוד, נורא הוא על כל אלוהים. איי 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 אליי 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 אליי
On page 24, we continue with one of our poems that got turned into a Zimra, we call it, one of our Shabbat songs that we sing during Kabbalat Shabbat. Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem.
שלום עליכם מלאכי השרת, מלאכי עליון ממלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. שלום עליכם מלאכי השרת, מלאכי עליון ממלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. שלום עליכם מלאכי השרת, מלאכי עליון ממלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. בואכם לשלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון, ממלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. בואכם לשלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון, ממלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. בואכם לשלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון, ממלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. ברכוני לשלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון, ממלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. ברכוני לשלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון, ממלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. ברכוני לשלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון, ממלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. צאתכם לשלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון, ממלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. צאתכם לשלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון, ממלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. צאתכם לשלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון, ממלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא.
And on page 20, we continue with Lecha Dodi, yet another poem written by Rabbi Shlomo Halevi. And you're wondering, gosh, how did he know that? Well, because he wrote his name as an acronym for first paragraph is the first letter of every paragraph is his name spelled out, Shlomo. And on the next, on page 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, the first letter of each paragraph spells Shlomo. And 5, 6, 7, 8 spells Halevi. I'm making it up. It says it in the bottom. All right, here we go. Shalom Halevi's poem, Lecha Dodi.
Lecha Dodi לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. Lecha Dodi לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. Lecha Dodi דודי, Lecha דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. Lecha דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד, אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם ותפארת ולתהילה. Lecha דודי דודי, Lecha דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. Lecha דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי היא מקור הברכה, מראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. Lecha דודי דודי, Lecha דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. Lecha דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. התעורר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. לך דודי, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת תקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
Verse 9, we rise and face the entrance.
בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה, לך דודי, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
We stood and we rose to welcome the presence of Shabbat enter the room and enter our souls. So why not take an opportunity, find someone across the aisle, behind you, in front of you, give them an elbow bump and wish them Shabbat Shalom. Introduce yourself. Say hello. We're going to continue with the Baruch Hu on page 28. Open it. Remain standing. Open it, open it, open it, open it.
Lie, 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 la 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 ברכו את אדוני המבורך אדוני המבורך המבורך לעולם ועד המבורך המבורך לעולם ועד.
Close the doors, close the doors. Please be seated. On page 31, let's pray together at the top. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai Hama'ariv Aravim. Turning the page.
אהבת עולם בית ישראל הודית. על כן אדוני אלוהינו בשוכבנו וקומנו נשיח בחוקיך ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם לעולם ועד כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו ואורך ימינו ובהם נהגה יומם ולילה יומם ולילה ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל.
We rise again on page 34 as we focus the words of the Shema.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed.
Please be seated, except for Mika, who's going to come up and help us lead the V'ahavta. So we're all going to continue, which, by the way, as he makes the slowest walk you could possibly make, the Shema and the V'ahavta, although on two different pages, 34 and then 36, in the scroll, in the Torah, is one verse, the next verse. Deuteronomy 6:4, and then Deuteronomy 6:5, and together they're wrapped up, written on, and wrapped up. They're inside our mezuzah, inside our what's inside the doorpost. So so that begs the question: why do we stand for Shema, which in the very next verse of the Torah we sit for V'ahavta? That's a long, complicated question, and thanks for asking, but we don't have time for that right now. I set myself up for that. Maybe we'll do like a learner Shabbat. Like instead, like we just like walk through the service instead of, that'd be weird, but it'd be cool. We'll try it. Let's just it popped into my head. Okay, sorry. I'm sorry. When did you get here? Okay, V'ahavta, page 36. Whoa, wait. Now we're getting closer to that. No.
ואהבת את אדוני איך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים, אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
It just occurred to me that after you become bar mitzvah in May, we can just draw some facial hair, and then you can lead services with a candor, and I can stay home. It'll be awesome. I have a lot of good ideas tonight. This is going awesome. All right, let's keep going. Where are we next? What's next? Micha Mocha?
Micha Mocha.
Speaking of cut and pasting prayers, verses from the Torah, the Micha Mocha, which we're going to get to in the Torah very soon, its location when we open the ark, open the Torah, and we get to actually see these words. Micha Mocha, the words that were sung when we got to the other side of the Red Sea.
We're going to start with the nigun. Yada da da da. Yada da 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 da. Yada da da da. Yada da 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 da. Yada da da da. Yada da 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 da. Yada da da da. Yada da da da. Micha Mocha. Micha Mocha ba'elim Adonai. Mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, norat eilot osefele, osefele. Malachutecha ra'u v'necha, bokeh hayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam. Malachutecha ra'u v'necha, בוקע הים לפני משה ומרים. ידה די 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 די. ידה די די די. ידה די 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 די. ידה די די די. ידה די 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 די. ידה די די די. די 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 די. זה אלי. זה לעולם, לעולם ואין. ידה די, ידה די 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 די. ידה די די די. ידה די 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 די. ידה די די די. ידה די 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 די. ידה די די די. די 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 די.
Our Hashkivenu prayer, I believe, will show up on the screens. Our visual prayers.
Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, Hamidenu shomrenu lechaim. Let's sing the English. That'll be simple. Spread the shelter over, peace over us. I need help today. Guide us in wisdom, compassion, and trust. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, Hamidenu shomrenu lechaim. Save us for the sake לחיים, לחיים, to life, לחיים, לחיים.
I was just thinking as we prepare for the Shamru, how many people in here, it's their first time in a while, and it'll be fine. I'll just let the prayer speak for itself. Or maybe the action, the activity, that if you feel so moved to join in, feel free.
We're all going to start with a big ve. Are you ready? Ve שמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדותם ברית עולם.
I just feel for the first timers, like, should there be a disclaimer at the door? Like what do we do? What did I come to? Oh my goodness. All right. Tefillah, page 46. Please rise.
אדוני שפתי תפתח ופי יגיד תהילתך. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avoteinu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah. האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיה הכל אתה, רב להושיע. משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיה הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים והופך עולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה. ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל, ברוך אתה אדוני מחיה הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
Please be seated. So I can't stop thinking about the learner's prayer idea, because then I would start here, I would explain how there would normally be the Shmona Esrei, which is, there's also 19, but the 18, and then I'll explain how we take that out, and I'm so excited about this Shabbat. I don't know when we're going to do it, but I know exactly what I'm going to do. In the meantime, page 59, let's offer this prayer together. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul or light within, for the world around us so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth which day by day sustains us. For all these and more we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulcha na'eh lehodot. And speaking of prayers of thanks, we pause for silent personal reflection, a silent meditation, a prayer of your own personal thanks as you have a moment of reflection yourself, silently.
יהיו לרצון אמרי והגיון ליבי, יהיו לרצון אמרי והגיון ליבי לפניך. Join me. והגיון ליבי, יהיו לרצון אמרי והגיון ליבי לפניך. אדוני צורי, אדוני צורי וגואלי, אדוני, אדוני צורי, אדוני צורי וגואלי. Go inside your heart, just be. Go inside your heart and see what it wants what it needs, what it yearns when you breathe. Go inside your heart and sing. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be kind, be true. May they be acceptable to you, oh my rock, my rock, and my Redeemer.
We're going to add a prayer of refuah shlema, a prayer of healing and wholeness for those in our community or friends or family who could use that extra prayer of wholeness, maybe feeling broken this Shabbat physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, however one may feel. And we offer this prayer of healing and wholeness. And if there's someone who wishes to share a name out loud, I invite you to do so. For those we've named aloud and those at home, offered a name out loud, we're thinking of you. Page 253, we find the words to our Misha Berach, our prayer of healing and wholeness, in the middle of 253.
Misha Berach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mishe Beirach Imotenu Mekor HaBracha Le'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
Okay. So I'll share a little bit about this week's Torah portion. Gratitude is an attitude. Some wise men surely must have said that at some point. And that's the lesson that I want to leave us with tonight. So if I were to pop out of the regular flow of the service and explain that sometimes people get confused when we get to this part of the Torah because, as I spoke about last week, I focused on the burning bush story. Moses had run away from Egypt, was out in the wilderness, and God introduces God's self to Moses and essentially says, yeah, you need to go back. And you need to tell them, let my people go, right? And so this week's Torah portion is all about the plagues, and we're like, wait a minute, it's not Passover right now, but we're reading the Passover story, so some people get confused by that. And so let me just say for a parenthetical second that the reason, although simple yet I can understand why it's confusing, is that we're reading the story of the Torah stories linearly or in order from page 1 to the last page. And this is the time of year that we read the Passover story, but the observance of Passover isn't until the spring. I was going to try to remember the date off the top of my head, but I don't. Is it April 6th? I don't know. Is that right? Am I right? April 6th is our second night Seder, I think, is why I remember that date. Today we sent out an e-blast of a lot of significant events happening in the next 3 to 4 months, and that's why that date stuck out as something we need to call aside. So if we're going to tell the same story all over again in April, how is that different from the story we're telling tonight? And the answer is, one is the actual holiday, and one is just reading the Torah in sequential order. We're just reading the book, and so that's why we've reached the Passover story tonight, even though clearly it's not Passover. So the focus I want to make is that Moses, acting as the messenger, the voice for God, by the way, and can I make a parenthesis inside a parenthesis? This is the anniversary, for those that not that you follow my life that closely, but this is the anniversary of my son's Torah portion last year, this weekend. This is the Torah portion that he was called to because he spoke about the fact that Moses was called to be the spokesperson, and yet he had a speech impediment. So how interesting that someone with a speech impediment would be the one to go to Pharaoh when my son himself speaks with disfluency, and so that was the connection he made. So here we are yet again, and a whole other year has gone by. So I find myself coming back to this idea that Moses is the one called upon, but in this case, I want to point out that he asks his brother Aaron, if we read the text closely, he asks his brother Aaron to be the one to actually tell Pharaoh, not Moses. It was Aaron who pointed out that there would be blood, there would be frogs, and there would be lice. Why did Moses not be the one to be the agent to say to Pharaoh himself, but he would do the other 7? So going to commentary, the answer is not in the book. We have to go into the last few thousand years of commentary, people who've read, studied, thought the same, asked the same questions. And we get a midrash. We get a story that exists, that helps us understand, but it's a story that isn't necessarily in the Torah. And it says that the reason that Moses asked Aaron to be the agent of telling Pharaoh about the 3 plagues that came out of the water was because Moses himself had an experience in the water. It was when he was a baby. As an infant, he was put in the basket. And it would have been insensitive and inappropriate for him to strike the very waters in order to bring on plagues. Seeing as the blood and the frogs both come directly from the water as well, it was Aaron who struck the water and not Moses. And similarly with the 3rd plague, that of lice, that lice came out of the ground. And the earth, As the Midrash goes on to explain, it was the earth that helped Moses cover up the body of the Egyptian taskmaster whom he had killed when he was defending a Jewish slave. Therefore, once again, it would have been wrong for Moses to strike the earth, and so for this plague too, Aaron was the agent. And this is a monumental lesson for each of us this Shabbat on the importance of gratitude. First, do earth and water have feelings? Would they know the difference if they had been struck, or who is doing the striking? But how much more so should we be considerate of human beings when they have done us a kindness? How scrupulous we ought to be not to offend others, especially those who have come to our assistance in our lives. And secondly, it's interesting to point out that Moses was 80 years old at the time of the plagues. The incidences of the earth and the water occurred when he was a mere infant and when he was a young man. And yet all these years later in his life, he is still sensitive not to strike the objects that had helped him in his life. He did not say, as so many have said after him, "What have you done for me lately?" There are a number of theories as to why human beings seem to have the psychological need to tarnish the image of their past benefactors. Perhaps it's because we are inherently uncomfortable with the notion of being indebted to anyone. It cramps our style. It diminishes our independence. So if we find fault with those whom have helped us previously, then we absolve ourselves of any moral indebtedness. Now we're even, we think. I don't owe you anything anymore. The story is told, a rabbi from the 18th century tells a story that he once did an enormous favor for someone. Later, the fellow asked him, "Rabbi, what can I ever do to repay you of this kindness?" The rabbi said, "One day, when you get upset and angry with me, remember what I've done for you today. And instead of pelting me with big rocks, throw small stones instead." It's sad, but it's true. In a similar vein, I remember hearing someone saying, "Why does he hate me so much? I never did him any favors." The little story, this story of Moses, which is only an aside to the main body of the biblical narrative of this part of the Torah, of such a much, much bigger events going on. But I think this little story of Moses and his actions with the plagues of not getting directly involved, recalling those of which had helped him, remembering the kindnesses that are bestowed upon us when they happen. If one who has been good to us in the past does wrong and needs chastising, let someone else volunteer to do the job. Sure, that person may need rebuking, but you shouldn't be the one to do it. Once again, I think the Torah has come to teach us just a little bit how to be better people, how to be sensitive and eternally grateful human beings. And that's just yet another way that we can do Jewish. Shabbat Shalom. Ken Yehi Ratzon. So, speaking about being grateful, 1 week from tonight, we're going to be grateful because we, the Scottsdale Jewish community, and Temple Colony in particular, are going to have our guest musician, artist in residence, Joe Buchanan, is going to be here next Friday night. Going to take over the synagogue. He'll be with us Friday night. He'll be with us Saturday morning. He'll do a concert for the community. Everyone's invited. And how could we possibly invite the whole community and afford that? That's because of Steve and Arlene and their generosity who underwrote the program. We're grateful for them. And I think Joe is excited to come. I think he has a message for us. Let's see.
Hey, what's going on, Temple Cole? Me. This is Joe here in Houston. I'm getting ready to head out to New Jersey for a Shabbaton, but next weekend, I'm going to be there in beautiful Scottsdale, Arizona. I can't wait to see you. I can't wait to pray with you and spend some holy and sacred time together. So from my family to yours, Shabbat Shalom, and I'll see you soon.
That's cool. So, yes, it's country. Yes, he's Jewish. And yes, he calls it Jewish Americana, which is going to be very special Shabbat. I look forward to next week getting the chance to spend the whole weekend with him. It's such an interesting story. The Shabbat music, the music that he wrote Friday night, and then he'll do more secular music that he's written, narrative story, personal stories of his life on Saturday night at the concert. You do need to let us know you're coming. I know I'm preaching to the choir because you're all here, but for those that, or if you know anyone that wants to come or you want to bring a friend next Friday, make sure you sign up in advance. And I think, Danny, was that Colamy/Joe a place to sign up? Yeah. So if you just go to, you don't have to wait till Tuesday to sign up for Shabbat. You can sign up now for all the different events, because there's different events to sign up for. If you want to come Friday night, but not Saturday morning, but you want to come Saturday night, you can click which boxes you're going to come to, so that we know that we have enough space. We know that we're going to have and Friday night is a barbecue dinner because it's country. So why not grill some hamburgers and hot dogs next Friday night? So that's Cafe Colamy next Friday night. So it's a 6 o'clock dinner, 7 o'clock. I wouldn't call it a concert, a beautiful Shabbat, sacred Shabbat, holy music. Odbam? And then Saturday night before the concert, we will make Havdalah together. So we'll go in Shabbat together, we'll come out of Shabbat together. It's going to be awesome. Okay, looks like we've got three peoples who've not yet become bar bat mitzvah, going to help me open the doors to the ark. We lost a couple. That's okay. Please come on down. Help me open the ark doors so we can finish our service. Page 282 as we rise for Aleinu.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
All right, we can remain standing as we turn on page 294 for those, as we think about those that we may have lost in recent days or those that we lost at this season in years past who may be observing a yard site. If you wish to share a name, someone, if you're in the room, you wish to say it out loud, or someone, if you're at home, say their name. We'll be thinking of them. On page 294, we find the words to our Kaddish Atom. Yid Gadal v'Yid Kadash Shemei Rabbah Be'alma Divrach Cheotev Lamich Malchutei B'chayechon V'yomechon Uvchei D'chol Beit Yisrael Ba'agala Uvizman Kariv V'imru Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah Mevorach Le'olam Omeil Maya Yid Barach, Vishtabach, Vid Pa'ar, Vid Ramam, Vid Naseh, Vid Hadar, Vid Haleh, Vid Halal, Shemei Kudesha Brechu, Le'ela Min Kol Birchata V'Shirata, Tushbechata V'Nechamata, Da'amiran Be'alma V'imru, Amen. Yehei Shlema Rabba Min Shemaya, V'Chaim Aleinu V'Akol Yisrael, V'imru, Amen. Oseh Shalom Bimromav, Hu Yaseh Shalom Aleinu Ve'Akol Yisrael V'imru Amen. Zichronam Livracha, may their names and memories continue to be for a blessing as we say Amen. We make the Kiddush on page 5. The words, they haven't changed. Okay. So I'll have, okay, fine, page 5. You want to hold it? All right.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam boreh peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam אשר קידשנו במצוותיו ורצבנו ושבת קודשו באהבה וברצון הנחילנו זיכרון למעשה וראשית כי הוא יום תחילה למקראי קודש זכר ליציאת מצרים כי בנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים ושבת קודשך באהבה ורצון הנחלתנו ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת. לחיים.
You still got a few years. No, thank you. I happen to know, Jasper, you're very good at bringing the challah around to everyone, because you recently did that. There you go, man. Bring the challah around when we make the blessing.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם המוציא לחם מן הארץ בתאוות
Teavon, everyone. Shabbat Shalom. Was there a goodbye song?
Yeah.
There was. Okay, hold on. I
We can
stepped on
sing
it.
as we eat and
We're going to
and-
sing as we collect our books and move into the social hall for Oneg.
עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל, ואמרו אמן. Hey, la 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 Shabbat Shalom.